Okay, tell me when you're ready and I'll start recording.
I'm ready when you are.
Perfect. Doesn't that sound cool?
It does sound cool.
Okay, three, two, one.
All right, here we go. Starting with a deep dive into embracing the college experience. So, welcome to our deep dive. We're going to zero in on that crucial first year, Rachel. You've got some great sources to help us get prepared, and I know that you've really dug into your college career now that you're coming here to the end of it. So, I really appreciate you being here with us today. And we also want to start with this idea of all the things that we're going to cover today. So, we're going to talk about the importance of why, we're going to talk about adjusting to college, the benefits of seeking support, the hidden curriculum, the unwritten rules of being successful in college. The best version of you as a student, that is the idea of being a self determined student, someone who practices discovery, intention, and takes action. We'll talk about the transferable skills. We'll talk about the resources and tools that you can use while you're in college and how to embrace college as a journey, right? So, those are the things that we'll be talking about today. And I'm really ready to dive into it with you.
Yes, let's get into it.
So, tell me a little bit about your first year.
So, coming to Clarion my first year was super exciting, but also kind of a little bit nerve wracking at the same time. Just getting out of my comfort zone. It was kind of like a culture shock in a way, going from
Mm,
I went to from like a larger sized high school, but to here, and it was a different experience because you're really with like the same group of people all the time in high school, whereas
right,
when you're in college, you're meeting all these new faces, all these new people from all like different sorts of walks of life, and
right.
you're encountering new cultures and new ways of thinking. So it was really a change of like social dynamics when I got here, which I ended up loving, but I think it just took a while to kind of get used to
To
that.
adjust to that new normal. That's
Yeah.
right. We talk about the idea that you should start with understanding your why. And there's this five whys technique. And so if you can imagine back to when you were first starting college, let's just go through this five whys exercise, right?
Mhm.
Why do you think you initially wanted to go to college?
Oh, I think I initially wanted to go to college, both for the experience and to get a job.
Okay.
I think that should be a lot of students' goals to go into college, just to continue that education experience, like in, I guess really fulfill those like experiences that you could never get if you didn't go to college,
Mm,
like the social dynamics, the academics, the opportunities you get to be a part of organizations, to have leadership roles that you wouldn't normally get in everyday life.
right.
So I think for me, it was just trying to fulfill those experiences,
Okay.
and yeah, just learn and grow along the way.
Wonderful. And so we'll go with the five whys process. So the first why was because you wanted to experience these new things that college could get you and you could get a good job at the end of it.
Yes.
And one point I'd like to make about that good job part, you have to do well while you're in college in order to get that good job. Some
Yeah.
people don't think about that and think C's will get degrees. They do, but they don't get you that job you want.
Exactly.
So that was your main reason. Why was it important for you to have these new experiences and to go to college so that you could get a job? Like, why was that important?
Honestly, it was important for me to have these new experiences because having new experiences helps you to get out of your comfort zone more. It
Mm,
helps you to grow as a person and advance, because if you can't push yourself outside of your comfort zone, then you're not going to be able to grow. You're not going to be able to learn from new experiences and take away new lessons from them. So I think it was really important to me coming here that one of my goals, I made it, okay, well, I'm going to push myself outside of my comfort zone because, yes, like in high school, I was pretty extroverted, pretty outgoing, but nothing like I am in college.
oh,
So I kind of changed it up. Like in college, for example, I'd attend open mic nights on campus and
okay.
I'd sing my heart out. Now, I am not a singer, so it's like,
I'm not going to win any karaoke
yeah,
challenges either.
no. So it's even just like small moments like that that actually bring out that sense of you, that it's just like, okay, well, it doesn't really matter what anyone else thinks as long as you're acting like to your truest self, and I guess, taking that like leap of faith to try something new, because it just kind of more so brings you out of your shell and just shows people who you are, like to be around.
Important things you shared there, and I'll start with one of the last ones, being who you are, and it doesn't matter what other people think. That's really powerful to go ahead and be your authentic self. But you said one of the reasons was so that you could grow, so that you could actually experience stepping out of your comfort zone, so that you could get into that growth zone. That's so powerful. Why is getting into the growth zone so important to you?
I'd say getting into the growth zone is very important because I I don't know. I feel like in this world, in this time we're in, like the most important thing in life is people. Is surrounding yourself with people, connecting with people, just being compassionate and everything. So I think if you can grow yourself and excel every day in everything you do, then eventually you'll get to that best version of yourself and you'll be able to help others get to their best version as well.
Wow, what a concept. So, on the third why, it was so that you could grow into the best version of yourself and help others to get to that best version of themselves.
Mm.
Shine the light so that everybody grows. That's beautiful. Fourth why is becoming your best version of yourself so important?
So I'd say becoming the best version of myself is very important. Like I feel like I didn't have that intention coming into college, but halfway through college, I realized that that is what I want to do.
Okay.
And I think that it's important because people, like other people around you, are, I want to say, so influenced by how you act, how you're perceived, like what you do and everything, what you say, you know? So I think if you just show them like that they can do it and like that you can inspire them in those ways to be their best self, that they will want to motivate themselves to push themselves more or like stop procrastinating or like do
Okay,
something
okay.
different that helps them to exceed further.
Wow, so you can set the example for others so that their lights shine. Because then
Yes.
we're all really vibrating at that higher level. We're all contributing the best we can in a meaningful way to making this world a beautiful place. Oh, that's beautiful.
And I think it helps when we have people like you, for example, Dr. Krosky, who are inspiring to like lead students into that mindset, I guess, to want to be the best version of themselves to help others too.
And thank you for that,
Yeah,
Rachel,
of
and I
course.
appreciate it. But there are so many colleagues around us that are inspiring characters. You know, we can think of several, I'm sure, and name them all.
Absolutely.
But that's a good reason for going to college, so that you can become the best version of yourself, get inspired by others, inspire others. And this, the fifth why. Why is it so important for you to inspire others to become the best version of themselves?
Oh, it's so important for me to inspire others because I feel like I've had a lot of inspiration along the way, and I've I've definitely talked with a lot of different people, a lot of different area like walks of life and everything, and it was just so I guess refreshing to like hear what their perspective is on life and like how they navigated through it,
Mm-hmm.
and have helped me to navigate through mine. So now, like with these freshmen coming in and everything, I can talk to them and be like, hey, like this is what you can do to succeed as well. So it's kind of like I'm becoming that mentor in a sense.
Yes, you are. You are becoming a mentor on the journey, the Yoda that people are looking for.
Yeah.
Boy. And I know that you've inspired several students and trustees and others alike. So you have done really wonderful things while you're here, and we really appreciate you.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So that's a look at the five whys, right? So it's a real powerful practice. Whenever you are going to take on something, ask those whys. Why did you want to do this? And then once you get to that answer, why is that answer to you? And all of those levels take you just a little bit deeper and drive you to the core value that's driving you. And as you mentioned, college is a journey. It's about more than just academics. It's about the people, like you mentioned. So think about college as a transition across six different areas.
There's 6 different areas. That sounds intense.
Yeah, it can be. And like you mentioned, the cultural shift, right? Going from a high school where everybody's about the same to this campus where everybody was different. You're exposed to a whole new set of perspectives, experiences. It can be exciting, but also a lot to process.
Yeah. So cultural is one, but what are like the other areas then?
You know, there's the academic adjustment, of course. college is a lot different. Most people experience challenge that first semester until they understand how different it is and the different strategies you need compared to high school. Then there's the emotional side of things, navigating homesickness and the pressure to succeed, just the general stress of being in a new environment. And then let's not forget the financial adjustment that comes with managing expenses, working a part time job while you're going to school.
That sounds like a lot. It sounds like it's becoming a kind of juggling act between everything.
You're right, it is a juggling act, and there's still more areas to cover, right? So we've got intellectual, social adjustments, so all these new ideas and new ways of thinking can be challenging, can be exhilarating, and challenging again, right? And then socially, you're building new friendships as you develop all these relationships here at this new place, and all of these things are intertwined, and navigating them successfully is key to making the most of your college experience.
Yeah, definitely. Now I remember though feeling like so overwhelmed my first year. Like coming in, it was a very exciting time, but it was also like everyone else, especially upperclassmen, like and everyone just around me had it figured out, and like I was just, going with the flow, like trying to keep my head above water essentially. And so, what tips like are there like on how to handle all of these different areas?
That's a neat thing that you mentioned, and I know now after talking to you before we prepared, or as we were preparing, as a senior, you've got a whole different perspective on things than our new freshmen do coming in. And so there's a lot of things to emphasize, and because it can be challenging, it's important to recognize that it's useful to seek support, to get help from all the places on campus, and to advocate for yourself. It's all right to ask for help, right? And asking for help is a sign of strength. Like, I'll encourage students to go, especially to tutoring, because the students who start tutoring right at the beginning of the semester, they're the ones that are going to get A's. They know they need help because they haven't experienced this material before. So there are so many resources, your advisors, tutoring centers, upperclassmen, like you mentioned, all of those that are designed to help support you so you can succeed.
Yeah, and it's great that there's so many people that we know around campus that are able, like, to help. But honestly, like even with the support, I remember like during freshman year, like there's like this unspoken code, like you're supposed to kind of sort of crack in college. Like I should like go to class and do my assignments, but there was so much more that wasn't like explicitly told of like what you should be doing.
You're absolutely right. That hidden curriculum, it's really crazy. Those unwritten rules and expectations, they really impact your success in college.
Yeah, could you give an example of the hidden curriculum for us?
Yeah, I will. And let me, quick aside, think back to my college years. I had a friend who used these flashcards to study, and to me that was novel. I was like, what is that? And I would borrow them from him, but I didn't realize that him actually creating those cards is what helped him to learn the material better. I thought I could just look at it and soak it in. It wasn't the best way to do it, but of course there are ways to study, and I tried studying harder. Didn't always work for me. But the key to success is really getting to know your professors, talking to them on a personal level, because at some point you're going to need a little help, and it's best to get it directly from the source. And at some point, you will probably need a letter of recommendation. So if you can meet those professors every year, then they'll get a chance to know you, and when they need to write that letter of recommendation for you for your internship or for your job, they'll be able to write a powerful letter because they know you so well. So it's about getting to know the professors, knowing that they might drop some hints either in class or during those office hours when they can meet with you after class. And also they'll be able to give you personalized guidance because they know people and they have connections in an area that you aren't aware of that or they might not share during class. So it's really useful.
So it's just more about like going beyond the obvious of the studying, the going to class and everything, and the just explicit expectations. It's more about connecting with people on like a more personable level. For example, like I know in the past few years I've met a few professors that well I never had for class, but they're saying to me now like, hey, I can write a letter of reference for you and everything. So that's pretty
That's
cool.
really
Yeah,
wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're right. It's important to master the academic material, but there's a lot more to that hidden curriculum.
Mm. And that's where I start to like kind of worry a bit because like how are you supposed to figure that out? Like especially in freshman year on top of everything else. Like how are you supposed to I guess navigate that hidden curriculum when you don't really know about it?
Yeah, that's the tough part, right? And then there's this way of thinking about it so that you, like you said earlier, become the best version of yourself. And let's call that the self determined student, right? The
Mm.
iconoclastic student who is really self determined. They really know that they want to master this idea of being a college student, being a university student, so that they can take those skills that they learn into their life after college.
Um,
So we can unpack that self-determined student idea. You know, it's about uh, not really a secret formula, but more about a mindset, a system to be successful, a way of approaching your education as a continuous journey of self-discovery.
yeah. So it sounds like a framework to it. So where does that like whole journey start then?
Yeah, the self-determined student idea breaks down into this three-phase process. There's discovery, intention, and action. It's a cycle that you can revisit as you evolve throughout your college experience. So first is discovery, all about understanding yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your values, how you learn best, all of those things. Do you prefer to study in groups or do you find a quiet place to study on your own? Do you procrastinate or do you like to get things done ahead of time?
That sounds great in theory, but how do we like practically apply it?
You know, it's kind of like thinking about building a house. You start with a foundation and a
Mm.
blueprint, right? So, what you try to do is figure out what works for you, and you experiment just like a scientist would. You try different things. For instance, if you have a recording of you studying and learning some material or teaching it back to someone, then listen to that recording while you're at work or walking between classes. Just try different ways to get the material to you so that you can effectively use it. You know, there are ways to take the study notes that the professor provides and upload them into the Google Notebook LM, and it can create a lecture from that material. That's really useful to help you hear the material in a different way. And the more ways you hear it, the more ways you can connect to the material, the better you're able to learn it.
So it's about figuring out like what style of learning works best for you and practically applying that, not just into your studying habits, but into your everyday life and just, I guess, taking that like those studying habits with you on the go in a sense.
Exactly, that's right. And just make it an experiment. You know, try something, see how it works. If it works, continue to refine it. Just trying it with the experiment. And then after discovery, we have intention, right? So, intention is about setting clear, specific goals for what you want to achieve. It's not just about passing your classes, it's figuring out the skills you want to develop, the knowledge you want to gain, the impact you want to make.
So it's like about, I guess, moving on, just like checking the boxes and
Mhm.
really like thinking about, I guess, the bigger picture of your education. And I could definitely see how that could be like impactful for someone who's unsure of like what they want to do or where they want to go in their life.
Exactly. And that's where you can use different goal setting models. One popular one is the SMART goal setting framework. It's specific, measurable, relevant, and time bound, right? So I think I missed a letter. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound.
Yes.
Can't spell today.
I love the acronyms though. Could you break that down a little bit for us about the SMART goals?
Sure. Let's say you want to do something like get an A on that test, right? Well, that could be a good way to think of it, or you want to get a good grade. That's what I often hear students say. A SMART goal might be something specific like, I want to earn an A on the next test that I'm taking in biology on, 2 weeks from now. So it's specific, it's measurable, achievable depends on what you got on the previous test or what you got in terms of background knowledge, but it's still attainable. It's relevant because it's your grades and you want to do well, and it's time bound, 2 weeks from now. So, again, it's specific. I want to earn an A. It's measurable. It's achievable because I've done something well on these quizzes. It's relevant and it's time bound in 2 weeks. So
Yeah.
that's the SMART framework.
So you just got to kind of build like a blueprint from those phases and set like your SMART goals during that intentional phase then.
There you go, right? Right. So you've got discovery, intention, and then action's the final piece of the puzzle. It's where you put your plan into practice. It's about actively engaging with your education, sitting in the front of class and participating, asking questions, seeking out resources like tutoring or office hours, and consistently putting in the effort to reach your goals.
So it's not enough, not just enough to like have the plan. You actually have to like do the work, put in the effort. But you know, this whole self-determined student thing, it's not just about academics. I feel like it translates beyond the classroom and even into your career as well.
You're absolutely right. And we can think about the self-determined student mindset as something that can help you build all those transferable skills. Like you said, when you first wanted to go to college, it's so you can learn and get a good job.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the transferable skills that they want to hire you for. Those kinds of skills employers are looking for are those things that the self-determined student mindset can help you with.
Absolutely. Do you have like a few other examples of like what skills you're referring to?
Sure, you know, when people are looking to hire you, they want you to be able to think critically because there are so many challenges that businesses are facing. You have to be able to think critically, solve problems, and typically you're working with others. So communication is important, teamwork is important. You have to be adaptable, and if you have some leadership skills, that's just like icing on the cake, right? Those are the skills that most businesses are looking for, and you can hone those skills while you're here in college.
Absolutely. And I think that comes in like even just outside of the academics and more
Mm-hmm.
so in even like the organizations and clubs you're involved in and practicing those by being president or vice president of the club, holding a chair position or something along those lines, building that leadership, communication, critical thing, all of those.
So important to get involved in the co-curriculars, right? Those outside of the classroom experiences are vital, vital, vital to your development. I really emphasize that with students. I encourage them to get involved in activities and, like you said, to run for office and then try some leadership in that new organization so that you can practice those skills.
Absolutely. So by approaching your education with intention and actively engaging in like that learning process, you're not just setting yourself up for academically succeeding, but you're also investing in your future career.
Mm-hmm.
That is brilliant.
Right, right. It's important to remember that this whole process is a journey, right? It's not just a destination. You're going to make mistakes, we're going to face setbacks, and we might have to pull a few all-nighters, although not recommended because well-rested will test it. But by embracing that self-determined student mindset, you'll be equipped to navigate those challenges and emerge as a stronger, more confident learner and someone more prepared to get into the fields and lead in those fields that they want to get into when they graduate.
Absolutely. I love that. Like embracing the journey, not being afraid of the inevitable like bumps along the way. But today we've covered a lot here. The why of college, the transformative first year, hidden curriculum, the power of becoming a master's student. Now, how can our listeners put all of this into practice? What are some concrete tools and resources they can utilize to thrive in college?
One of those tools is that right at hand. Usually you have an advisor, right? There's a lot of words on college that you may or may not be familiar with, but the advisor is someone that can help you help guide you through all those twists and turns. They can help you choose courses, they can help navigate degree requirements, connect you with other resources, and you may have some other resources on campus in addition to the advisor. And sometimes it might be an advisor for one of those outside organizations that you're in, one of those co-curricular programs.
Yeah, and don't underestimate their value. I wholeheartedly believe advisors are there to support your success, so make sure you're checking in with them regularly.
Right. Advisors are important. The tutoring center is important. Did you ever use tutoring?
No, I have not.
Okay. Did you tutor though?
No.
Oh, you are a mentor. That's
I was
right.
a mentor.
You're a
Yes,
mentor,
yes,
right?
I'm a mentor.
Down the hall from tutoring, right?
Yes.
Well, tutoring can be a win-win for everyone involved. The person who's tutoring is learning more, and the person who's learning from the tutor is also getting the knowledge they need to be successful in college.
Absolutely. So basically, we have the power to shape our own experiences, embrace the challenges, celebrate victories, and just simply never stop learning. Just always continue in that. And your future self will definitely thank you for it if you follow these strategies.
That's right. That's right. When I'm thinking about all the other resources, you know, we've got support centers, counseling centers, libraries, all those things that are out there, all those resources to help you navigate stress, to do well in class. Just take advantage of all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, like you're saying, we do have a lot of ways to ensure that you never stop learning. Like life is a continual learning journey. And so, on that, we're going to leave you with a question to ponder as you embark on this exciting journey. What action would you take today to make the most of your college experience? Will you connect with your advisor, explore a new club, or simply take some time for self care? The choice is yours, and possibilities are endless.
Thanks for joining
Thanks
us.
for joining us
On this
deep dive into the college experience.
We're so excited for you and the amazing adventures ahead.
Thank you.
Perfect! We did it!
We did it. That
Oh my
worked.
gosh.
That
I
worked.
Went so off. Oh, that's weird to take the headphones off.